Tonight we are performing obviously with Shakespeare Company. Due to the fact that we didn't have a whole lot of time to do the entire play, we will all have an alternate ending for you. But overall, welcome to the Viking Theater and tonight's performance by the Shakespeare Company. I have a few brief announcements. First, the use of flash photography or the recording of this show, Coloca, restricted by the management, aka me. For your convenience, toilets are located past the lobby and there, but you can't get those. Let's see what else. Oh, please also take a moment to locate the exits nearest your seats. You're supposed to look. Look. Okay, there you go. Okay. If the theater should experience a sudden loss of air pressure, oxygen masks will drop automatically. Please place the mask over your nose and mouth and continue to breathe normally. If you're in the theater with a small child, please place your own mask on first and let the little bugger fend for himself. At this time, I'd like to introduce myself. I am Coeur of the Shakespeare Company. And tonight, we're going to attempt a feat that is believed to be unprecedented in the history of theater. That is, capture one single theatrical experience, the magic, the genius, and the towering grandeur of the complete works of William Shakespeare. Now, we have a lot to get to tonight, so at this time I'd like to introduce another member of the company. He is one of Idaho's prominent Shakespearean scholars. He has his bachelor's degree from the University of Idaho down in Moscow, where I believe he read 2 books. Shakespeare. Please help me introduce Captain Rowe.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. William Shakespeare, playwright, poet, actor, actress, philosopher, a man whose creative and literary genius have had an immeasurably profound impact upon the entire culture of the English-speaking world. And yet, how much do we inhabitants of the 21st century really know and appreciate the tremendous body of work contained in this single volume? Too little, I would argue, and I believe I can illustrate this point by conducting a brief poll here among our audience. Who here has seen or read any play by William Shakespeare? See those names? They might be smart as you seen those?
Dude, keep going.
Well, what should I do? Just do it now. Let's see if we can't narrow it down a bit, shall we? Let's see. Who here has read All's Well That Ends Well? Anybody? Yeah. Well, I thought. I mean, that seems to be separating the weak from the strong rather nicely. But let's see who the true Shakespeare trivia champs are here tonight. Who here has seen or read King John? You have? Young man, really? I don't believe you have. You look kind of dumb. No, tell us what it's about. No, don't ask him. It's against the rules.
I think let's go to John. A dinosaur.
No. See, ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly what I'm talking about. You laugh, you scoff, but let he who is free from sin among you live in a glass house. For that face, ladies and gentlemen, represents all your faces. Those glazed eyes represent your glazed eyes. And these teeth, they represent your teeth. And they scream out, "Floss me!" Ladies and gentlemen, I submit to you that our society's collective capacity to comprehend, much less attain the genius of William Shakespeare, has been systematically compromised by computers, vandalized by video games, saturated with soap operas, and dealt its death blow by George W. Bush. So it's Shakespeare Company's here. We descend among you tonight on a mission from God and the literary muse to spread the word of the bard to the masses. So take those first halting steps out of the 21st century quagmire of Dr. Phil, Oprah, MTV, Martha Stewart, and into the future, a glorious future where this book will be found in every hotel room in the world. That is my dream, ladies and gentlemen, and it begins here tonight. Please take those first brave steps with us down the path of intellectual redemption by opening your mind and your heart and your pocketbooks. Please survive by voting 1-800-THE-BARN right now. Yeah.
Anyway, those of you, thank you, Father Travis. Those of you who want a copy of this book, which probably isn't very many of you, obviously, because you don't know all of Shakespeare. Anyway, you all know that it wouldn't be complete without a brief biography of William Shakespeare. So, to present that portion of the show, I'd like to introduce the third and final member of the complete works of William Shakespeare, the Shakespeare Company, Austin Beals.
Now y'all look dumb, because you thought that I was part of the audience, but I'm not. Don't touch him.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Out of order. That's the bag. There. Oh, gosh. Okay. Well, I did some research on William Shakespeare to, I don't know, just so we can know some stuff about him before we do some of his stuff. Okay, William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare was born in 1564 in the town of Stratford-upon-Avon, Warwickshire. The third of 8 children, he was the eldest son of John Shakespeare and Mary Arden, daughter of a Roman, Catholic member of the landed gentry. In 1582, he married Anne Hathaway, our farmer's daughter. He is supposed to have left Stratford after being caught illegally poaching elephants and disturbing the peace. Shakespeare arrived in London in 1588. By 1582, he had achieved success as an actor and a playwright. By 1608, his dramatic production lessened. It seems he spent more time in Stratford. There, he dedicated to his secretary, Rudolf Hess, the work Mein Kampf, which was a program for the restoration of Germany to its prominent position. Let's see, after annexing the Rhineland zone between Germany and France and taking over the remainder of Czechoslovakia, Shakespeare invaded Poland on September 1st, 1918, thus precipitating World War II. Okay. Shakespeare remained in Berlin when the Russians entered the city and committed suicide with his mistress, Jessica Alba, in the church at Stratford.
The stage! Hitler! Now, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, William Shakespeare, the complete works of William Shakespeare, abridged.
All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts. How true, ladies and gentlemen. And where better to begin our exploration of the complete works of William Shakespeare than in Verona, Italy, with two of his most beloved characters, Romeo and Juliet. Now, Austin Gwynn will be attempting to portray all the major character roles in Romeo and Juliet while I fill in with bits of crucial narration. And after extensive textual research, we, the New Shakespeare Company, have decided to begin our abbreviated version of Romeo and Juliet with the prologue.
Two households, both alike in dignity, in fair Verona, wherever they are seen. From ancient grudge breaks to new beauty, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean. Before the fatal loins of these two men, another star-crossed lovers take their life, whose misadventures, piteous overthrows, do with their death bury their parents' strife.
Okay. Act 1, Scene 1. In the street, meet two men tall and handsome. One, Benvolio. The other, Samson. By an ancient feud, for one serves Capulet, the other Montague.
Boy, I was talking to you about the sort of vegetable. Ooh, I hate these dogs.
Do you bite your thumb at me, sir?
No, I do but bite my thumb, sir.
Do you bite your thumb at me, sir?
No, I do not bite my thumb at you, sir, but I do bite my thumb, sir. Do you quarrel, sir?
Quarrel, sir? No, sir.
But if you do, I am for you. I serve as good a man as you.
No better.
Yes! Better!
You lie!
Enemies to the peace, profounders of this neighbor Shakespeare. You, Capulet, with me. If only you come to this evening to our father and pleasure.
Where is Romeo? Saw you here today. Quite glad I am he was not in this fray. Ah, let's see, he comes. Let's see, he comes.
That'll do.
Romeo, you need a haircut. Oh, but Romeo, alas, he cried. I'll know his grievance or be much denied. Good morrow, cuz.
Mr. Day is so young,
You struck a nine.
and he said I was too long.
But sadness lengthens Romeo's hours.
Not having wit that makes them short.
Not having with makes me short.
And love?
Out.
Out of love.
That's your favorite friend.
Oh, alas, isn't that love so gentle as view could prove to be so rough and tearless and proof?
Alas, that love whose years muffled still, should without eyes see pathway to his will.
Oh! There such fair Rosalind, whom thou so lovest, along with all the admired beauties of Verona. Go thither, and bear her face with some that I shall show. I shall make thee think a swan, a crow.
I should go along, nor should the sight to be shown, but rejoice in splendor all my own.
Anyways, now on to the feast of Capulet, where Romeo is doomed to meet his Juliet. And we're in a scene of timeless romance. We'll try to get into Juliet's pants.
Oh, she does seem to torches to burn bright. My heart lets go now, for she's what I sight. Oh, I never saw she beautiful this night. If I do profane with my worthiest hand, this gentle shrine, all mine is it. My lips to blushing pilgrim stand, this smooth as rough touch of the tender kiss.
Good pilgrim, hands too much, which may only devotion shows in this, for saints have hands, pilgrims' hands too much. Palmer's kiss.
Amy, I lips do.
I, pilgrim, sips the lips that they must use in prayer.
Then let's do what hands do.
But saints do not move, grant for prayer's sake.
Then move now what the effect I take.
And from my lips the sin that they have took.
Oh, sin from my lips, trespass through the ears. Give me my sin
Dude,
again.
I don't want to kiss you. Kiss by the book.
Coming, mother!
I mean, she can. What are you doing?
Let me see.
What life done in grace?
Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Deny thy father, refuse thy name. Or if thou wilt not, be but scorn my love, and I shall no longer be a Capulet.
What's in a name anyways? That which we call a nose by any other name would still smell. They call myself.
I call you but love. Sure I shall be new baptized. Henceforth I shall never be Romeo.
Then what man art thou? Art thou not Romeo and Montague?
Neither fair maiden, neither needless like.
If dost thou love me, I know thou wilt say aye, yet if thou swearest, thou mayest prove false. Oh, Romeo, if thou love me, pronounce it faithfully.
Yonder, my lady, blessed, farthest blessed moon, I swear.
No, not by the moon.
No?
No.
Well, What shall I swear by?
Let's see. Swear by him.
Man, by yonder blessed virgin, I swear.
No.
No.
Hey, you know what? Just don't swear by anything. I take joy in thee tonight, but I take no joy in his contract tonight. It is too rash, too sudden, too unadvised, too like lightning that still cease to be. Yes. One air can say it lightens. Oh, good night, Romeo.
Will thou leave me so this unsatisfied?
What satisfaction canst thou have?
Thy most faithful vows for mine.
Oh, Romeo. I already gave thee mine before thou didst request it. 3 words, young Romeo, and then indeed good night. If thy bent of love be honorable, and thy purpose be marriage, send word tomorrow. Good night, good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow. Really it is.
The sleeper peace and sweet you rest, so sweet, so peace, so sweet you. I don't know that line.
Oh, man.
He also doesn't know that he's supposed to stay on stage because he's supposed to be standing right there. Though Romeo did swoon with love, by Cupid he'd been crippled, but Juliet had a loathsome coz, whose loathsome name was Tybalt.
Ah, Romeo, the love I bear thee can afford no better term than this. Thou art a villain. Yeah. Therefore turn and draw.
Tybalt, I do protest, I never injured thee, but love thee more than thou canst defy.
Ah, thou wretched boy, I implore you. Take it.
What? No big fights? Where? What?
Well, he's skipped 26 pages.
Where do we go now? Where do we...
I think we should go to the manager and get him fired. Later. Go to here. Sorry. So, from Tybalt's death onwards, the lovers are cursed, despite the best efforts of friar and nurse. Their fate pursues them. They can't seem to duck it. Need a rhyme. And at the end of Act 5, they both kick the bucket.
Gotta be patient, Firefoot, Steve, and bring Silver back immediately. Come, Silver Knight, come, gentle knight, thou day and night. Come, Romeo, come, night. Oh, night. Come. Bring me my Romeo. Hello, nurse. Can heaven be so envious?
Oh, Romeo! Oh, there is something to Romeo!
What devil art thou to torment me thus? This torture should be roared in dismal hell.
Oh, I saw they're all settlers. They take things apart and reassemble them. I don't know what is it.
No, hey, no, man, come on. Let's not do this part because
I don't feel the girl.
Nope, he's ugly. He doesn't sound like a girl. And
Austin's a bad actor.
yes, neither of us know our lines. Can we just skip it?
I'm going to do you a solid. I'll let you skip your line.
Thank you. Okay.
Line or part? We don't know.
Skip the scene.
Yeah.
You just skip the line. and
No
make
one
it
likes
nice.
these. They're two. Yeah.
Oh, I am Tybalt the slain, the Lord who killed Romeo. Well, that's good, isn't it? Oh, and Tybalt is dead, who would have killed my husband. Well, that's good, isn't it? What do I do? Oh, Friar Lawrence! Romeo is slain!
Yes! I already know thy grief. Take thou this vial of distilled liquor and drink thou off. And through thy veins shall roll the coals and drowsy humor. There's not that much.
Oh, I feel cold and drowsy humor running through my veins. Huh. Oh.
to be his paramour? Oh, here's to my love. Thus, with a kiss. Thus, with a kiss. Over it. I die.
Good morning. Where's my love? Poison close in my true love's hand. Poison I see has been his timeless head. Oh, true, drunk home, left no friendly drop to help me after.
Then I'll be brief. Hound dagger, this is my sheath. That's Romeo for you.
A sad piece tomorrow with the brings. The sun through sorrow does not show its head. Go forth and think no more of these bad things, for some will be pardoned with some punishment. For never there was story more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo. Thank you. You see, in making these 400-year-old plays accessible to a modern audience, assuming you guys are old, we have, run into a problem of how to make these 400-year-old plays for you guys. So one trend that we've found was that they put plays in modern settings. We've seen this in such places as Nazi concentration camps, the lunar landscape, and Cleveland, Ohio. So, I present to you now Shakespeare's first tragedy, Titus Andronicus as a cooking show.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Roman Meals. I'm your host, Titus Andronicus. Now, when you've had a long day, your left hand's been chopped off, your sons have been murdered, your daughter's been raped, her tongue's been cut out, and both of her hands have been cut off. Trust me, the last thing you want to do is cook. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're cooking the rapist and serving him to his own mother at a dinner party. My daughter Lavinia and I will show you how to do this right now. Good evening, Lavinia.
Good evening.
How are we feeling today?
Yeah, so.
Gotta suck. Anyways, now the first step you want to take is you want to make a nice clean incision from the carotid artery to the jugular vein. Like so. You're going to want to use a big bowl for this because the human body has about 4 quarts of blood in it. So, after that you go kind of grind his bones into dust, mix it with the blood, put it in the oven for about 40 minutes at 350 degrees, and then you will have the loveliest human head pie. Fits to serve the king. Who will be the first to try this creaky pie? We'll see you eat.
I'll have a tongue.
No one?
Tongue, please.
You guys are pussies.
I'll have one.
Well, that seems to be all the time we have for now. So until next time, I'm your host, Titus Andronicus. Thank you.
Thank you. Here, I'll take it. I hope none of you are shut up! Hope none of you are too offended by Titus Andronicus. You see, in Shakespeare's younger years, he kind of went through a blood and guts period of life, teenagers. Nonetheless, if he was in Hollywood today, he'd be working on Titus Andronicus 4, Just Desserts. This might bring you to another one of his brooding tragedies, Othello, the Moor of Venice.
Speak of me as I am, let nothing extenuate. For one who loves not wisely, but too well. For never was there a story of more woe than that of Othello and his Desdemona. Oh, Desi! Hey, what are you guys doing?
So you left Austin alone to research this play, and you must look for it in the dictionary as a place where you tie boats.
Yeah, you can go to Moore to tie your boat.
See, in this context, that's totally ridiculous, because in the 16th century, the word Moor referred to a black person. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, the part of Othello is written for a black actor, and obviously we're not.
We're racially
Pigmentally.
challenged.
No. So the bottom line
Is,
we're honkies. So, we will not be able to perform Othello.
Hey, stop right there. No. Listen, just because we're white doesn't mean that we can't perform Othello. Okay, yeah, I got this new idea. Totally hopeless, okay? Now check it out. Okay, you stand here. I'll stand here. Okay, I'm kind of making this up as I go, so, just give me some room. Okay, I'll start off, and you guys just kind of jump in when you start feeling it, okay? Cool. Here's a story of a brother by the name of Othello. He liked white women and he liked green jello.
Yeah, and there was a punk named Iago who made himself a menace because he didn't like Othello, the Moor of Venice.
And Othello got married
To Desdemona, he took her for the wars and left her
It
alone.
was a Mona.
A grown-up, he left her alone.
He didn't write a letter and he didn't telephone her.
Nice.
Desdemona, she was faithful. She was chastity tight. She was the daughter of a duke.
And she was totally white. Now Iago had a plan. It was clever. It was slick. He was crafty.
He was sly.
He was kind of a dick.
He said, "Shaft more."
How you gonna do it?
Tell us.
One knows tragic flaws that is
Too damn jealous.
I need a dupe, I need a dope, I need a kind of a schmo.
So we found a chump sucker by the name of Cassio.
And on him he planted Desdemona's handkerchief,
So Othello gets to wondering just maybe if will he be out fighting.
commanding an army.
Are Desi and Cass playing hide the salami?
So when he got home, he stuck a pillow in her face.
Killed her and soliloquized about his disgrace.
And Amelia's at the door.
Who we met in Act 4.
Who said you big dummy, she weren't no whore. She was pure, she was clean, she was virginal too. So why'd you have to go and make her face turn blue?
It's true.
It's you.
Now what you gonna do? Now Othello say.
Yo, this is getting pretty scary.
So he pulled out his blade and committed Harry Carey.
Iago got caught, but he probably caught the plea.
Loaded up his bags.
And moved to Beverly.
Hills, that is.
Why don't we take a break from tragedies and move on? Word, right? Nice. Word. What? First, do comedy! We're gonna have a 10-minute intermission, so you guys, yeah.
I win.
Are we still having the intermission? Probably get a curtain, so you guys don't see us.
No, I don't think we're really having an intermission.
Doing the world's shortest intermission. Quinn will be out in just a second.
Hey, you guys want to hear a joke? Is there still for time?
Sure.
Okay. So let's see. Okay, so there's this guy who's going to the French talent show. We already heard this joke. Okay, so this guy, and he goes into a restaurant and with an ostrich, and he sits down and he's like, "You ready?"
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. What a joke!
I'm funny too!
All right, you're fine.
Okay, you see, Shakespeare was an expert at borrowing and adapting plot devices from different comedies, you see. So,
Yeah, basically, he stole everything he ever wrote.
Stole is a pretty harsh word, dude. Distill, maybe.
distill 3 or 4 of the funniest plays of his time and milk them into 16 different plays. Yep.
You see, I think about Shakespeare was a formula writer. Once he found something that worked for him, he used it over and over and over again. So, Mr. Shakespeare, this is the question we have for you. Why did you write 16 comedies when you could have written just one?
In answer to this question, we of the Reduced Shakespeare Company have taken the liberty of condensing all 16 of Shakespeare's comedies into a single play, which we have entitled The Comedy of Two Well-Measured Gentlemen Lost in the Merry Wives of Venice on a Midsummer's Twelfth Night in Winter.
Symbolize taming miracles of the merchant in the tempest as much as you love it for like it for nothing.
Or
The Love Boat Goes to Verona.
comedies.
Comedies. Act 1. A Spanish duke swears an oath of celibacy and turns the rule to his kingdom over to a sadistic tyrannical twin brother. He learns some fantastical feats of magic and sets sail for the golden age of Greece, along with his daughters, 3 beautiful and virginal sets of identical twins. Well, a terrible tempest, which in its fury casts the duke upon a desert island, along with the loveliest and most virginal of his daughters, who stumbles into a cave where she is molested by a creature who is either man or fish or both.
Act 2. The long-lost children of the Duke's brothers, also coincidentally 3 sets of identical twins, have just arrived in Italy. Though still possessed of inner nobility, they are ragged, destitute, penniless, flea-infested, shadows of the men they once were. In the utmost extremity, are forced to borrow money from an old Jew, who forces them to put their brain down on collateral on the loan. Meanwhile, the 6 brothers fall in love with 6 Italian sisters, 3 of whom are contentious, sharp-tongued little shrews, while the other 3 are submissive, airheaded little bimbos.
Thank you for closing that. Act 3. The shipwreck identical daughters of the Duke wash up on the shores of Italy, disguise themselves as men, and become pages to the shrews and matchmakers to the Duke's brothers' sons. They lead all the lovers into a nearby forest where on a midsummer's night a bunch of mischievous fairies squeeze the aphroditic juice of a hermaphroditic flower in the shrew's eyes, causing them to fall in love with their own pages, who in turn have fallen in love with the Duke's brothers' sons. While the queen of the fairies seduces a jackass, and they all have a lovely bisexual animalistic orgy.
I'm sorry.
Act 4. The elderly fathers and the Italian sisters finding their own daughters missing, dispatch messages to the pages telling them to kill any man in the vicinity.
Yep. However, unable to find the men in the forest, the faithful messengers, in a final misguided act of loyalty, deliver the messages to each other and kill themselves.
Meanwhile, the fish creature and the Duke arrive in the forest disguised as Russians, and for no apparent reason perform a two-man underwater version of Uncle Vanya.
Act 5.
The Duke commands the fairies to right their own wrongs.
Yes. And the pages and the shrews get into a knockdown fight in the mud.
During which the pages' clothes get ripped off for feeling female genitalia.
Dude, again! What's wrong
It's
with
a
you?
disease.
No, it's not.
No, it's
That's
not.
It's
Idiocy.
Or stop.
Anyway, the Dukes recognize their daughters.
Yes, except the Duke's brother's son recognized their uncle.
One of the bimbos grows up to be Hillary Clinton.
And then they get married and go out to dinner.
Except for a minor character in Act 2, gets eaten by a bear, and the Duke's brother's sons, who, unable to pay back the old Jew, had to give themselves lobotomies. Ouch. And they all lived
Happily ever after.
Very much.
that story. Very nice. Now we're going to move on to the tragedy. Here at the Reduced Shakespeare Company, we have learned that the comedies aren't nearly as funny as the tragedies. Take, for example, Shakespeare's...
Don't say it. Don't say it.
You know what you were going to say?
He's right.
You're going to talk about a Scottish play.
We're not supposed to talk about it because it's cursed. It's cursed. Wait, Brad?
Okay.
But you know what? He killed me wife. He murdered me babies and he shot me in school. I did that. Yeah. I did that. For I have been your horse is out the windy. No, never was there a story of more blood and death, but that's okay. Mr. and Mrs. Macbeth.
Meanwhile, Julius Caesar was a much beloved tyrant. All hail Julius Caesar,
Hail, citizens!
who was born by a soothsayer.
Beware the odds of more.
Anyways, however, the great Caesar chose to ignore this warning.
What the hell are the Ides of March?
15th of March.
Hey, that's today.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. We've come to bury Caesar. So bury him, and let's move on to my more important play. Antony.
And Cleopatra. Hold on. What's up? Cleopatra! Is this an asp I see before me?
Austin! Some crazy notion that all of Shakespeare's women that die go and vomit all over people.
You want your dump bag? Thank you.
No, they don't. This is not a Pepto-Bismol commercial. Antony and Cleopatra is it's a play about a geopolitical power struggle between Egypt and Rome.
Oh, dude. It's one of his geopolitical works? See. Oh, man. If I knew that, I never would have messed around with it. Because the geopolitical stuff is some of my favorite stuff. You know, like, it's weird. Some of the stuff he wrote 400 years ago is still relevant today. Like, what was that one he wrote about, how, you know, nuclear energy affects the Soviet Union?
Shakespeare never wrote anything about the Soviet Union.
Yeah, it was called Chernobyl Kinsman. It was No. Chernobyl.
Noble kinsmen.
Actually, I got to go to Chernobyl.
No.
Okay.
Two noble kinsmen.
Okay.
Two. It's two.
Dos
Five.
Demos Kinsminos.
Okay. Well, does it have any feelings about a Stalin guy?
No.
No? Not at all. I've never.
Not even a
Why are you holding this skirt?
I'm not surprised you haven't heard of it. You're kind of stupid. Well, no, I'm sorry. I guess I should explain. Two noble kinsmen falls in the category of what us scholars call the Apocrypha, or basically put the lesser plays, or the obscure plays, or simply put, really crappy plays. And like, I don't know, so you probably haven't heard it. But not all of the Apocrypha are completely without merit. Actually, Troilus and Cressida is hardly crap at all. I need to go off stage real quick.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors. Yeah.
Tornado!
Really good mistake. I'm sorry. Anyways, I was actually hoping we could do a quick kind of improvised version of Troilus and Cressida based off the book I'm writing entitled I Love My Willie. Which I would like to without
Austin.
Whoa, stop.
Stop it. No, stop.
It's a book! Wrong with you all? Do you guys think we could do one?
What do you mean, like performance?
You want to do Troilus and Cressida?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll spoil it.
Yes. Performance arts. I love performance art.
Yeah,
It's so pretentious. Props?
Yeah, props.
Right.
No, I want to do a straightforward scholarly approach.
Yeah, screw that.
published the second quarto in 1607, which appears the famous
Cool.
No, get this crap. Go. Ladies and gentlemen, my book has absolutely nothing to do with robo-sapiens and werewolves. It's ridiculous. It actually discusses the possibility that all of Shakespeare's plays were written by Elvis Presley. It's groundbreaking. Journalist is abducted by aliens.
No,
Shocking.
hey, is there anything in there about the plot, maybe?
Of course I cover the plot. What kind of fellow do you think I am?
Dumb one, we have 2 books.
I cover it in depth on the footnote right here. I can see it. Yeah. Troilus, or no, yeah. Troilus, king of Priam. Here, you would be Troilus. Right? Oh, you're Troilus. I'm Troilus because I'm the leader. Fine. You're Troilus. No, Troilus is the king. Oh, you're Troilus the king. You're.
It is a bystander.
No. You're the son. Okay, so loves Cressida. Although she is attracted to him, she feigns indifference. Wait. I have to feign indifference? Yeah. Okay. Difficult job. Meanwhile, the Greek commander Agamemnon has surrounded the Trojans.
Agamemnon, this is boring.
Yeah.
This is boring stuff that kids don't like to study in school.
Yeah, it is. No, dude, when you said Agamemnon, I pretty much fell asleep on the inside. Yeah, like, seriously? Okay, I told these guys, hey, when we come to Coeur d'Alene, I will not do dry, unfunny, bottomless humor like Agamemnon. Because, you know what, it would just turn you off. Because that's what happened with me. Like, we were sitting in school when I was little, and we're supposed to be learning about William Shakespeare. Like Agamemnon. And I look outside, and I see the children running and playing with balls.
Okay, Michael Jackson.
Look it up. Outside, playing with balls. Okay, and I was like, man, I wish I could be outside, playing kickball, or open a frisbee. I'm open. But no, I was stuck inside, reading Shakespeare. And I thought to myself, why can't Shakespeare be more like sports? You know? Sports? Yeah, sports.
How do you mean?
Well, sports are so visceral, you know? They're exciting to watch. Like, take, for example, the history. You know, kings and queens shooting each other off. You know, the throne passing from one generation to the next. It's exciting. It's like a football game with a big round.
Think about it, they are incredibly similar. We should do that. That is a
All right. Let's get tough.
Yeah, let's go.
All right. 44, 45, 42, Richard III, Henry VIII. Up, up.
The crown is snapped for Richard II, that well-spoken 14th century monarch. He's fading back the past, looking for an area downfield. But there's a heavy rush from King John.
My gross flesh sinks downward.
Henry VI comes up with it.
Victory is mine.
Oh, and here comes King John III. Oh, crawl! Please down, please down. Dude, this is the beginning of the road line. He's going 50, 40, 30. And then he's pushing the 4-yard line.
Oh, and he's down for the count. Replacing him now is number 72, King Lear.
Yes, we are kingdom.
Penalty. Ooh, penalty marker. Let's see what the ref has to say. Ooh, fictional character on the field. He is not on the field. Hockey. He broke the crown. That's not Oh, well.
All right, line up.
Okay.
Line up. Lining up.
Okay, lining up now is the father-son team of Henry V and Prince Hal. Quarterbacks now.
Center stops the quarterback. Quarterback gets into the hunchback. Oh, I just went inside his leg. It's getting him some trouble.
A horse, my kingdom for a horse.
Yes. Oh, and there goes 109. He's after 50, 40, 30, 20. He stops in 10 and cuts his wife's head off.
Touchdown! This is the beginning of the Tudor dynasty.
Henry V, Richard III, he is a babe, and Charles III. Go Fergie!
Dude, where's the place?
The list of places in front of the book.
Alright.
Oh, because I think, okay. Because I think we've done them all.
Yeah, okay, we just did Romeo and Juliet.
No, we just did all the histories.
Well, this was Bill Tommy the once.
Yep.
We did Othello.
We wrapped
We wrapped Othello.
We did Macbeth
Macbeth.
in perfect Scottish accent.
I know. What she
Tyson
know?
Romulus.
Yep.
I mentioned Moon of Athens.
Romeo and Juliet.
Agamemnon. We got Agamemnon. And you already said Troy, Antony.
What about Coeur?
No, let's not do that one.
Why?
What's wrong with Coriolanus?
I don't like the anus part.
That seems to be about it.
Yeah, I think that's all.
Well, guys.
Oh, how can I You know what, guys? No. I don't.
Yes, we have
Austin,
to.
Austin, come on.
Fine.
We've already done 35. Just one more. There's 36 points in a row. One more and we're done. Think about it.
Yeah.
Move fast so you can get out early.
No, you know what? I'm sorry. I just don't want to do it.
Dude, come on.
Why?
Okay, that football game left me emotionally and physically drained, and I just don't think I can do justice to it.
We don't
You
have
have
to
to do justice to
We
it.
just have to do it.
You know what? No, I'm not.
Where are you going?
Austin.
No, you just
Come back here.
no.
Come on.
Austin.
You're gonna do Hamlet.
No, you two can do it, and I'll watch you.
We can't do it with 2 people. We need 3.
We can't do it with 2 people. We need one
I,
more.
as your friend, I say you do Hamlet, at least to see the
So
skull.
you're not my friend, man.
Come on. Come on. You go guys.
Well, let's go to
Ladies and gentlemen, I should probably explain. You see, normal people solve a conflict by a staring contest, a thumb wrestling contest, or even rock, paper, scissors. You see, but Travis and Austin drew a superhero showdown. So,
Might want
No femur or funny bone is safe from the boom crusher.
And I'm the time turner. I can control time.
you guys gonna fight?
Dude, you didn't say go.
I gotta say go.
Go, Bo. I tricked you. Okay, go.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought. Check this out. Wait for it. Play.
What happened?
Wait. Rewind.
That's very funny.
Play.
You just stop that.
That's unfair. Check this out. Okay. Not only can I control other people with my special invisible remote, but I can also control myself. Watch. Fast forward.
Now you're mine.